Ladies and gentlemen, dear Mrs. Weitz, hello to everybody in Berlin and everywhere in the world.
Ich werde jetzt nicht auf Englisch ganz sprechen, aber
I will not continue to talk in English, but I know that among our participants there are also people who speak and hear English. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the possibility for speaking here in this very relevant event. You've said it in the introduction. We do this event, we make it possible at a very difficult times, but I think it is urgent as well and actually it is the right time, because the pandemic has taught us that problems and problematic situations that we've described, named for years, that we've discussed for many years, that these situations and problems have increased, have become gained in dynamics and become worse during the pandemic. So I believe if we do not succeed to take inclusive decisions during the crisis to increase and improve standards before the pandemic, because people with disabilities have insisted on the fact that their problems and challenges are not only theoretic but are lived in practice. We will not, if we cannot improve the situation, we will have a worse situation afterwards. This is why my special thanks go to those who make this event possible, because it is clear that COVID-19 is a global challenge to which we can only answer thanks to a global strategy. All those who believe that this pandemic, but also other global challenges, can be answered and overcome by national measures, and is on the wrong path. The COVID-19 crisis has taught us that we needed international strategies, and this is why we really need reliable and systems internationally accepted, especially those developed by the WHO, the challenges that we have to face, not only in the framework of COVID-19, but in general, are challenges really for all countries and not only for the developed countries. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that worldwide almost 1 million people live with disabilities. 80% of those people with disabilities live in what we call the emerging and developing countries. This group of people with disabilities is totally heterogeneous, is multiple, is very mixed, is so diverse as the people present here and those who are listening to us virtually. This group is totally diverse, and therefore the challenge to answer to the health of these people is not something that you do very easily. You need expertise for that. You all know also that Article 3 or the SDG 3 of the formulated in the Agenda 2030, leaving nobody left behind, is part of this answer. If we are serious to say that people with disabilities are citizens of the planet, so we have the same rights, the same dignity, the same rights to everything, it must be clear that a global health strategy must, of course, take into account people with disability. Everything else could not even be explained. People with disabilities are citizens of the planet. They have the same rights like everybody else, and is the task of the international communities of all different countries that these rights do not only exist in writing, for example, formulated in the SDG 3 or in the Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, but that they are lived. Meaning that the German federal government has obliged themselves to develop global inclusion strategies, and I part on the fact that this German global strategy, meaning the measures that the Federal Republic of Germany will take, will be adopted by the German cabinet government this autumn, and I'm happy to see that the German health ministries and of course the representatives for health questions will be asked as well. It is very good that this health ministries and that my great team, Mrs. Meissner, for example, who is responsible for these questions, that these ideas, that these proposals that we've submitted have been taken up by the government. Let me come back to the subject of the pandemic. We see very clearly that, for example, as far as the information concerning health structures, preventive measures in the pandemic, for example, for hearing impaired people and who need, for example, special measures, have been forgotten and were not available at the beginning of the pandemic in Germany. Fortunately, this has changed because all the statements by the federal government and by the Robert Koch Institute are generally also translated for the hearing impaired. But what I want to show you by saying this is that the federal government and the Federal Republic of Germany has still some tasks to fulfill. Should not only criticize the others, but independently from this, health does not only mean health before or after and during COVID-19. No, it is important also not only 50% of the worldwide population should have access to that. It's also about questions of preventions and rehabilitation. Ladies and gentlemen, on this basis, I am very thankful this event takes place here today, together with numerous experts. And finally, if I may say, the title, Being Left Behind, Nobody Should Be Left Behind. Being Left Behind, that is the title actually. We can only answer these questions with three answers: being recognized, being accepted, and being an equal part of this society. Thank you very much for your attention.